Hello, it's Roger Bisbee here from the Skill Builder channel, and today I'm out doing a bit of impact driving testing. And what I'm actually testing is the impact driver bits, not the impact drivers for a change. Milwaukee sent us some of their torsion impact driver bits, their shockwave bits they call them, and they're specifically designed within the shaft. They've got what they call a torsion bit, which allows for that little bit of impact, that little bit of flexing, and it means it doesn't shatter. So they're specifically designed for the job, and I'm going to test them up against some market leaders. I've chosen to use some Vera and also some Dart ones which a merchant recommended to me, so I'm going to give them a go. I've got some oak here, so I'm going to try them in oak. Of course, it does depend on you having good screws as well, so if you've gone and bought some very cheap screws and you'll find it that the impact driver bit is just camming out and it's not working well, it could be that the screws aren't a good match for that impact driver bit. And I know they do vary. I've seen so many examples of screws where there's a minute difference, and you try one impact driver bit with one screw, it works well, even though it's nominally the same PZ2 or whatever. You do find these discrepancies. So what I say is you find a good impact driver bit, you find a good screw, and then you keep to it. I really wouldn't be tempted by any of those cheap screws, because really they're just junk. They're all right actually when you're using them on a screwdriver, you know, a drill driver, but as soon as you put an impact driver on them, game over. And of course, who wants torn heads and all the aggro that causes, removing screws and replacing them? So anyway, I'll get on with it. We've got some oak here. I'm going to see how they perform. Okay, so it's early days yet. I've still got a way to go with these, but what I will say is that they are a very good fit. They seem to be very positive in there. They've got this wear guard tip designed to obviously reduce the wear on the tip, but it means that the screw stays in there quite nicely. I'm going to try a few of the others just to see how they get on now. I'll try the tip that they supplied with these Optimax screws, because they're supposed to be pretty good. Okay, I'll change over, take the Milwaukee impact driver out, take the bit that they supplied with the screw. Still using it one-handed, not putting any pressure on the back of the impact driver, because we shouldn't need to really. Interestingly, straight away there's a little bit of swath coming off that driver bit. This is the driver bit that is matched to that screw, so you can see that is actually pretty good. Now that driver bit is already beginning to show signs of wear. The tip's gone off it slightly, and it's got a little bit of swath. But don't forget, that's the free bit that they send with the screws. So you get one of those in every pack of screws. What they're trying to say really is that that will last as long as a pack of screws does, which of course depends on the screws, depends on the length of the screws and what you're driving them into. But as I say, this is oak. No sign of camming out though. Kind of like the idea that it's magnetic. For a free bit, that's nice. So we'll just pop that over there, and now I'm going to try the Vera. Stick that in. That went in nice and easily. So you would expect a Vera to be a good bet, really. Top quality, not cheap, but a lot of people say that that's their favourite screwdrivers and bits. There's a wee bit of play in there. Let me just, I don't know, I would say that the shape of that is slightly more bulbous, so that it pushes down and it finds the optimum point, whereas the Vera is kind of straighter. It doesn't push in quite as tightly as it might do, just in the design. I mean, it's enough, it isn't amazing, and I did expect it to be amazing. Okay, so here's the Dart bit we're going to try. Just checked it in the screw, it's fine. Again, slightly different shape, very, very skinny on that shaft, which slightly concerns me because you wonder with the impact whether it's enough, but it's as I said, the merchant says they're selling lots of these and people like them, so they're probably designed well. And it's got the same bulbous look as the Milwaukee one, whereas, as I said, the Vera is straighter, so it is pushing very nicely into there. Notice the dart is also magnetic and it's doing a good job, and all we've got to do is see whether we're getting any wear from it. So that is the dart bit, seemed to work pretty well. I wouldn't argue with that at all. So let's just try now the shorter bit, which is, if you can see, the Milwaukee SHOCKWAVE, the longer one, but they also do a shorter one. Again, still got that red section in the middle, which is the torsion section. So they're still supposed to work in the same way. Very nice. So just to run through what we've got here, we've got the Vera. You can see that's quite a slim head. We've got the dart, which has got a slim shaft and even slimmer head. Then we've got the Milwaukee, the long SHOCKWAVE version with the torsion section in the middle there. Then we've got the shorter one, which obviously you put into your bit holder, which has still got that little torsion section there. But then the last one that we've got is the one that came with the Optimax screws that they give you in the kit. So you can see that the head on the Milwaukee is a lot more bulbous, even though that is made to fit in a PZ2 screw, Posi-Drive 2. You can see that the bulbous head means that it's pushing down into it. So again, if you look at this one, you'll see that that fits nice and snugly in there, but once it's in, there's no... So if that screw was slightly different, it may not fit as well, which is what I was saying, that you really need to match the screws to the heads. But once you find a good fit, you got to stick with it. So what can I tell you? I've tested all three makes. I found all three makes perfectly okay at doing the job. The SHOCKWAVE bits are a nice tight fit. They don't slip, they don't cam out. They're very easy to use. I would say, if I can't tell you hand on heart that they're better than the market leaders, the Vera and so on, they're certainly as good. I'd say that. I'm Roger Bisbee. I hope you found that interesting. Do come back and see us soon. We've got more tool tests coming up on Skill Builder.